welcome back. Today I've got another Splendor strategy video for you. This one is going to be more focused on a particular strategy that requires more card knowledge and game knowledge, and I'm excited to get into it. When I was learning this game, the person who was teaching me told me that the group that they played with bought out all the green level cards before they proceeded to buy any point cards. So I thought that I had an opportunity to win games early on by just buying the most expensive, highest point cards that I could. And it worked. I won one of my early games with only 4 cards. 1 yellow card and 3 blue cards. The issue with this plan is that other players noticed what I was doing and started stockpiling the colors that I took to prevent me from being able to ever reach the number of coins I needed to buy the blue tier cards without a solid foundation of cheaper cards. In gaming, there tends to be a continuum between fast strategies and powerful strategies. And powerful strategies tend to be a little bit more robust and inevitable once they arrive, but quick strategies require concentrated defense to prevent them from winning, to extend the game into the later stages where powerful strategies have a chance to demonstrate their winning potential. To allow this strategy to remain relevant, it needed to be a little bit more robust than to just immediately go for the blue cards. So I examined the cards in the mid-tier to see which ones would allow me to have the most aggressive approach towards getting points as quickly as possible to make the speed strategy as efficient as possible. In a previous video, we had examined all the yellow-backed mid-tier cards that were red gems, and we'd noticed that there was a cost trend where the red gem cards cost red, black, and white. And by extension, the green and blue cards also have a cost trend where they tend to cost green and blue. Now, this is an advantage for the vertical strategy, which is what we're examining today, where we buy cards that cost the same as the gem they are. This allows us to rapidly accelerate the amount of gems that we have of the same kind to get to the third tier cards as quickly as possible. The green and blue card set has 3 advantages over the red, black, and white card sets. Those advantages are, first, that there is a 5 cost card that costs only the color it gives you and is worth 2 points. Those cards are excellent and are part of the foundation of this strategy. There's a slightly less good card. In the middle row here, you can see that there's a card that costs 5 blue and 3 green. This is 8 coins for only 2 points, but because it's in our 2 colors, it'll be discounted, and we'll frequently want to buy this, even though this is a bad card in general. Finally, on the blue side, there are 2 cards that cost both green and blue, and while you're picking up 3 coins, you can pick up green, blue, and then the third color to buy these cards basically for free. It doesn't really cost you anything to pick these cards up, and they continue to accelerate you towards your goal. For a quick comparison, you can see these red cards. The 5 cost 2-pointer costs black and not red. So if we've been accumulating red cards at the first level, at the green level, then those cards won't be discounted and more difficult to obtain. So this red card set is less efficient if you're trying to go for a pure vertical strategy. So now that we understand the underlying mechanics for why we're choosing green and blue for this strategy, we can do an overview of the goals and process for how to execute this strategy. To begin, you'll want to pick out a green or blue card, probably one of each, maybe 2 of one kind that's going to be your primary color from the first tier. This allows you to quickly and efficiently buy the mid-tier cards that we're looking for, and it also allows you to take 3 coins, knowing that you're going to take green, blue, and whatever else the cost is in those first-tier cards to let you buy them as quickly as possible. You'll also take 2 coins frequently when there's a card available for you at the yellow tier that costs either 5 or 6 and gives you a gem of that color to be able to achieve those cards as quickly as possible. Another key element of this strategy is that the cards that you need are so good for you that it is worth it for you to yellow them immediately into your hand. This serves 2 purposes. The first is that it prevents you from being defended, and you will be defended if you try to execute this strategy. The second is that the yellow coin is frequently just as good for you as having taken 3 coins, because the main thing you'll need is a large stack of the one color that you're going for. So you're not really missing out on anything, and it allows you to continue to build your pile. Reserving the cards you need by taking a yellow coin and adding that card to your hand protects you from both of the kinds of defense that are available to your opponents. It prevents them from buying the card that you need, or by yellowing it themselves to prevent you from getting it. And also, it prevents you from coin stockpiling, which people will do if they notice that you're doing this. All things being equal, they'll take a coin of the color that you need to prevent those coins from being available for you when it's your turn to take coins. The yellows will allow you to bridge the gap between the available coins in the stack and the number that you need to buy your next card, which replenishes that color's stockpile and allows you to continue taking those coins as aggressively as possible. An important thing to remember is that you can only have 3 cards in your hand at once, and so this limits your ability to play defense on other players. However, this strategy is the most aggressive possible strategy, and so if you're able to reserve the cards that you need and buy them, you should win and not have to worry about playing defense on other players. It's their responsibility to prevent you from winning if you're playing this strategy, and so you won't really need to focus on what other players are doing as long as you're executing this strategy cleanly. The next step in this strategy is to reserve and purchase 2 blue level cards. Because of your efforts at the yellow level, you should already have somewhere between 5 and 7 points, and so if you're able to get 2 good blue cards, that should wrap up the game, and you should have somewhere between like 6 and 8 cards total. The guilds will almost certainly not be in play for you, and so the main sources of points for you will be 2 blue cards, each being like 4 or 5 points, and then your assorted yellow cards, and that'll wrap up the game for you. The strength of this strategy is the efficiency of the costs of the cards that you're buying. They'll continue to be cheaper and give you discounts for every card that you buy, and in the process, give you a significant number of the points that you need to progress towards your endgame goals. The weakness of this strategy is that the cards that it needs and the coins that it needs are predictable and obvious, and so the defense against this strategy is both required and easy. And so once people lose to this strategy once or twice, they will very aggressively defend against it and be able to do so effectively because the cards that you need are so consistent. It's important that you only use this strategy as a change-up once people get wise to how it's used. The image you've been seeing in the background is all of the blue level cards that are available to this strategy. There are 20 blue cards total, and 10 of them are useful to you. The ones on the left are the best, the ones in the middle are okay, the ones on the right you should take only if there's nothing better available. But the ones on the left are all excellent, and the ones in the middle are all still good. You'll see that I've included the 7 white and 3 blue card in the middle tier. I've frequently been able to get this card and win using this blue vertical strategy because I'll have 3 blue cards and be able to use all of my yellows that I've accumulated to make up the difference to get to that 7 white number. People don't necessarily expect that, and it's a good way to use your coins and chips that you have in an unconventional way to get those 5 points to end the game, and to end the game strongly. As a final note, this strategy can be done in red, black, white instead of in green, blue, but it's slightly less efficient, it's harder to defend, and it requires a little bit more luck to get the cards you need. So I tend not to recommend it, but it's a good way to change it up if you're trying to do a strong vertical strategy. Especially if somebody else has already chosen green-blue, that's a way to get a solid victory pathway. If somebody else is already doing blue-green, you can do red, black, white. Well, that wraps up our video for this week. Hope you learned something that you can use when you play.